These are the basic ingredients we use to make our substrate: coconut coir, organic compost, sharp sand, and small stones or gravel. Coconut coir is the standard substrate that most people use. It holds lots of moisture, so will help you maintain humidity, and it's mildly acidic, so will help prevent mold and bacterial growth. We use organic compost to aid live plant growth. This is potentially the most dangerous ingredient because even products labelled as organic might contain inorganic fertilizers and pesticides. Sharp sand encourages root growth in plants, aids drainage, and will help aerate your substrate. Sharp sand holds its shape far better than granulated play sand, for example, which if used in large quantities will lead to a loose surface, which tarantulas generally do not like. Sometimes, for tarantulas that require constant high humidity, like Haplopelma lividum and Theraphosa sturmi, we start with a layer of gravel at the bottom of the enclosure. This is not necessary, but we find that it helps to prevent stagnation and mold growth by allowing air to move under the substrate. Obviously, you must only use gravel that is much smaller than the tarantula, so that there is no risk of it being crushed. This small gravel is actually going to be mixed into the substrate. But we only do this with fully grown tarantulas and large ones like Lasiodora parahabana or again Theraphosa sturmi. For our basic substrate mix, we use 5 parts coconut coir, 5 parts organic compost, 1 part sharp sand, and a half part of gravel. We find that this works well for nearly all species of tarantula, providing that you maintain the appropriate humidity once the enclosure is established. Depending on the requirement of the tarantula, you can essentially adjust these ratios. For example, a desert species will require more sand and less coconut coir, or a tropical species may require more coconut coir to increase the humidity and less sand. For a burrowing species, you need to make sure that the substrate holds its shape to allow for safe burrowing. And again, overall, we have found that tarantulas do not like walking on loose substrate. So make sure that it does hold its shape and it provides a firm surface. This is an example of how we might set up a basic enclosure. Notice that we are tamping the substrate but not compacting it. If it is too dense, the tarantula will find burrowing difficult, and it will also restrict the movement of water. It's a good idea to use a cleanup crew. We find the most reliable are woodlice because they breed prolifically in captivity. They will eat decaying organic matter and help to keep the enclosure clean. Whenever you experiment with the keeping of a living thing, it is important that the top priority is the welfare of the animal. Do not take any risks. Simple is often better. These things are what have worked for us, and we'd really enjoy answering any questions and hearing what has worked for you.